welcome back to Pre-Algebra Chapter 8, Section 2 in this book. And what we're doing is we are learning basic Algebra 1, actually. So, don't you feel smart? And I explained last time that this is something that was not part of Pre-Algebra when I learned it, but it is now. And they're trying to help people do better in Algebra 1. And I think you can do it because you've already learned a lot about solving equations. So this is just upping it just a little bit. All right. So if these equations that have an x, a y, and an equals can be graphed and are aligned, I know it's a straight line if neither the x nor the y have any exponents. And so it's a linear equation because no exponents. That's how you know. Later on in Algebra 1 and Algebra 2, we'll learn how to handle it if there are exponents. But right now it's just two variables, an x and a y, no exponents. So when they teach this, they always start teaching it the same way. It's the baby steps. They try to get you to do this one problem. You do it when you're very first learning it, and then you never do it again. So is this important? For the first problem. After that, not so much. And this is how it works. This is my line right here. What is considered the solutions to this equation is all the points that make up this line. So they ask us, does this point make up the line? Well, later on you'll find a much better way to answer this question. But this is how they want you to do it at this point, is they want you to test. So first what you do is you label that, we're going to do this one first, that 1 is x and 3 is y. Next, we sing a song. Substitute. And we're going to substitute in 1 for x and -3 for y. I think I'll change to a different marker so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm putting the 1 here. So it's going to be 2 times 1. I don't know if that really helps you see better. Minus y is -3. And I say, does that equal 5? Oh, the suspense. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 negatives make a positive, so this is +3. Ooh, does that equal 5? 2 plus 3 is 5, so 5 equals 5. And the answer is yes, that is a solution. Okay, so now we'll do that one. What you want to bet it's no. Let's see. Usually if they give you a yes for the first one, the second one's a no. So this is x and that's y. We sing substitute and put it in. 2 times 4 minus 7. Does that equal 5? 2 times 4 is 8. Minus 7. Does that equal 5? 1 does not equal 5. No. This one was yes. So that's how they make you do it. But after this you'll never do it again. But you'll have to do it at the beginning of Algebra 1 because they'll teach it to you again. But after you do this, you're going to learn many other ways to know if that's the solution, and that's not one of them that you'll do. You'll do it a much nicer way. All right. Now, this is one way of writing an equation. That's another way. Notice this way, y is by itself. And this is called function form, and it's also called slope-intercept, or y equals mx plus b. It has a lot of names. But why this is an important form is because on your calculator, your TI-84 graphing calculator, you have a button right there that's the y equals button. And with that button, you can make your calculator graph this for you. That is very handy, and I'll teach you all about it in Algebra 2. Algebra 1, not 2. Alright, so we know this is a line, it's a linear equation, and we're going to graph it. And how we do it is by making our if-then chart, our domain range, our input-output chart, but we're going to call it XY. And what we do first is we pick any number in the universe to be X. But I'm lazy, so I pick 0. You're going to pick 0 too. Because what you do is you say, if X is 0, then what is Y? Well, if X is 0, 0 times 2 is 0, and 0 things go away. So if x is 0, y is -1. And I have my first point of this line. It's when x is 0, y is -1, there's a dot. Okay, so I could have picked anything. I could have picked 32 halves, but I don't want to because I'm lazy. X is 0 is the easiest number. Now what's the second easiest number? 1, right? So I'm going to do 1 next. 1 times 2 is 2. 2 minus 1 is 1. So my next point is X is 1, Y is 1. There's the dot, and there's my line. Now your book has you do like 5 points. We don't need to. We don't need to because there are no exponents here. We know this is a straight line. Between any 2 points, there's only 1 line. So they're just overkilling it. Only do 2 points. That's all you need. Later when these things have exponents, you'll need more points. Not now, because it's a line. Okay, so that's how you graph that. Not terrible, what was it? Now, remember I showed you last time that we have some weird ones when there's only one variable, only an X or only a Y. So remember, this is the Y-axis, this is the X-axis, and we're going to graph the green one first. You go to the point Y equals 3. So on the Y-axis, I go 1, 2, 3, and I put a dot. Then I say no matter what. That's telling myself that no matter what X does, X can go up or X can go down, but no matter what, Y equals 3. Okay? Same thing with X equals 2. I go on the X-axis to -2, and I put a dot. Then I say no matter what, Y can go up or Y can go down, but X equals -2. Okay? Now let's do this one. And then we're going to go back and say, are they functions? Okay, so let's do this one. So this one, we're going to do the same thing. We are going to, well, we're going to graph it. And the easiest way to do it at this point is to say, if X is 0 or Y is 0, but they want us to change it to function form. They want us to get Y by itself, then graph it. So we're really going to do it the hard way. I'm going to show you another easier way to do this later in this chapter, which I call the cheater pants method. So you have to come back for that. That's my teaser. All right, so we have to get Y by itself. So our question is, why is Y not alone? Well, it's got an X and a 2. And we always get rid of things that are further away and then work our way to what's closer. So the X is further away. And how we get rid of things is by doing the opposite. What is the opposite of this plus X? It's minus X. And what we do to one side, we do to the other. These cancel out. We bring down what we didn't mess with. I got to be run to my graphs. I'm going to shift it over here. 2Y equals, and by tradition, you put X's before you put bare numbers. So this is -X plus 6, because these are being added. That's where the plus comes from. Now why is Y not alone? Well, it's being multiplied by 2. So what's the opposite? Divide by 2. What I do to one side, I do to the other. Now who gets divided by 2? I call this the pirate rule of math. I imagine there's a bunch of pirates and they're in Tortuga and someone got some gold doubloons and he says rum for everybody. But instead of it being rum for everybody, it's divided by 2 for everybody. You get a divide by 2 and you get a divide by 2. Some people say it's the Oprah rule too. Alright, so now these cancel out and we bring down what we didn't mess with. Y equals, you can say -X over 2 or -1/2 X. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So now we have written this in function form. Function form means that you have a Y equals just like your calculator, and later I'll teach you how to make your calculator do it for you. So now we're going to do our if-then chart. What's the easiest number to start with? 0. Why? Because we're lazy. Okay? So if X is 0, this goes away, and Y equals 3. Notice that I don't write this on paper. I do it in my head, and this is one part I want you to learn how to do it in your head too. Now, what's the next easiest answer to try? You would think it's 1, because I told you that the easiest one is 1, except if this has a fraction. If this has a fraction, the easiest number to try is not 1, because you'll still have a fraction, and we hate fractions. We want them to go away. The easiest number to try is the denominator, because the denominator, if we put in a 2 here for this X, they cancel out, and that makes the fraction go away, and we like that. We like getting rid of fractions. So what we're left with is negative 1 plus 3. That's the same thing as 3 minus 1, which is 2. We have our 2 points and we can graph it. If x is 0, y is 3, put a dot. If x is 2, y is 2, put a dot. You have 2 points, you've got a line. Alright, so this is pretty advanced. The last thing we were going to do is say, is it a function? Okay, here's our pencil test. Yes. Let's do the green one. Is it a function? Yes. Let's do the red one. Is it a function? No. It touched the line in more than one place at a time. How about this one? Is it a function? Yes. Let's try this one. Is it a function? Yes. Alright, so this is a little confusing, I know. Do your homework, practice it, rewatch the tape if you have to, study the examples in the book. But as we keep doing this, from now on, for the rest of your math career, it's going to make more and more sense. You're doing a puzzle and you don't have all the pieces yet. So it's confusing. Until we put down a few more pieces, it's going to be a little bit confusing, but that's okay. Don't get frustrated. We're going to see the picture in the end, I promise. All right? Math is great. See you next time.